3, 2, 1.
Hi, Hilary.
Hi, Melissa.
So we are starting a new podcast.
We are.
Called After the Last Client. And this podcast is going to be aimed at us being therapists and humans in the world, talking about what it's like to have a day's worth of clients, what we leave with, what we hold, a little bit about what our experiences are, and let people in on these conversations that we actually have quite regularly.
Yeah, we're excited and welcome everyone. And with this podcast, we do want to share while we are talking about therapy and things that happen in therapy or that we experience. We do want to clarify that this is solely for the purposes of sharing, reflecting, and connecting, and it is not a substitute for therapy.
Absolutely. So, Hilary, why don't we start by introducing ourselves?
Yeah.
It might be good for our listeners to know who we are.
Well, my name is Hilary McCullough. I am a registered psychotherapist. I've been practicing therapy for a little over 4 years. And I would say I work with a little bit of everything. I work with a lot of people who struggle with anxiety, depression, life stressors, adjustments, things like that. And I also love working with young adults. That's kind of my favorite group of people to work with and sit with in therapy, like 20 to 30 age range. But I also love working with people from all different walks of life. And I love, doing kind of self-compassion work in my sessions. That's a big part of what I do. Yeah. And also acceptance and commitment therapy is another approach I like to practice from. And I just, in general, love being a therapist. So I'm happy to be here and be sharing that experience with you and the audience. But tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, thanks, Hilary. So my name is Reid, and I am a registered social worker. We both work here at Counselling and Psychotherapy, and I happen to also be the owner and founder of this practice. Yeah. So I've been working in the community and working in the area of grief and bereavement for a long time. Yeah. And as a result, it moved me into work in attachment injury, complex trauma, and trauma in general. And so a lot of my modalities and the places that I work from are going to support that type of work. So I'm IFS trained, I do EMDR, narrative therapy, lots of different modalities that support people who are experiencing some really tough life challenges. Yeah. Like you, I work with so many different demographics and dynamics. But I think one of the things we may want to say is neither one of us work with kiddos. No, we've got some really awesome people that work here that do, but that's not us.
Yes, not for us.
So why don't you tell our listeners, why did we decide to do a podcast?
Yeah, I think there's a few different reasons why we decided to do this. One of them stems very much from conversations that often happen here in our staff room kitchen, whether it's, debriefing and unpacking things after particularly heavy sessions or just kind of connecting on like a human level. We've had some really meaningful, impactful conversations with each other, and you and I had kind of discussed the idea of how that'd be really cool to be able to share that with other people who don't work at Commentry as a therapist, or also don't come to Commentry as a client, but just kind of opening up those conversations so that people can really share, connect on a human level, right? I think that's one of the reasons we are doing this podcast is, yes, we're therapists, but we're also human, and we want to kind of put that out there in the world so that other therapists, clients, and just, your average person can share that with us.
Yeah, which is a great introduction to who should listen.
Yes.
Or who could benefit from listening.
Yes.
And so while we'd love to say everyone, please come and listen to our podcast, we also know that this is really going to be beneficial for people that are working as therapists or are about getting into this career. Students or people that are contemplating psychotherapy as a way of working would benefit from listening. Yeah. If our clients want to hear who we are outside the room, they're definitely welcome. Yes. And anyone who's thinking about therapy, this could be really helpful to hear what does it sound like to be amongst therapists?
Yeah.
And then, like you said, the general public, more than happy to have them here and spending time with us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So what are we going to talk about on this podcast?
Yeah, I feel like there's a broad umbrella of things, but yeah, I would say there's a reason we kind of called it after the last client. So a lot of it is going to be, you know, things that we hold as therapists after a session, things we, you know, may struggle with, you know, leaving work, such as burnout, compassion fatigue. Also talking a lot about like what it means to actually work in private practice.
Yeah.
There's sometimes a lot of misconceptions around what that looks like or what it can look like. And also just the fact that, yes, we're therapists, but again, we're human and we're going to struggle with things. You know, we're not perfect. Everyone is infallible in a way. And yeah, just like really sharing in that kind of struggle, connecting on that. Yeah. Anything else I missed that you'd say we would also talk about?
No, I think that's great. And I would say, knowing that we have amazing colleagues who work out in the community and that is just different work than private practice. And so that's kind of a piece of, you know, psychotherapists and social workers have many different roles in our community. And we are one of the roles that are held. So why don't I tell people where they can find us on our socials? My understanding, I'm definitely of an older age, is that we're on almost all socials.
We're on everything.
Yeah. So if you're looking for us on Instagram or Facebook, you're going to look at Calming Tree Counseling on Instagram or at Calming Tree on Facebook. If you're looking for us on TikTok, we're actually under the label of our podcast, which is After the Last Client. And there you're going to see, not only hear us, but see us, because we're also doing videos for these podcasts too.
You get to see us and hear us.
That's
it's
right.
a privilege.
And we are on LinkedIn as Calming Tree Counseling and Psychotherapy.
YouTube as well.
YouTube, absolutely.
And you can find the podcast on Spotify, Apple Music, all those streaming platforms. We're everywhere.
We're going to be
Can't get
everywhere.
rid of us.
Absolutely. So if it's okay, I'm going to just talk a little bit about Calming Tree Counseling and Psychotherapy. So we are a group practice of counselors and therapists. We have two distinct designations. And interestingly, the two of us are going to represent those.
Yes.
So we have a group of social workers who provide counseling and then psychotherapists. And really the difference for anyone that's wondering is how we got there, which is one has a master of social work, the other one has a master of counseling psychology. And we see a diverse demographic. We have clinicians here that see children, youth, adults. We have people that support relationships and families. And the really cool thing about Calming Tree is because it's a group practice, we have people that are practicing almost every modality that there is. So you and I have kind of talked about some modalities we practice from. You mentioned ACT, I mentioned IFS, but there's a lot of psychotherapy modalities. And so the nice thing about coming to Calming Tree is there are people that practice a diverse number of modalities, which can support
lots of different things.
Most presenting concerns that people come with.
Yeah.
Anything I forgot?
No, I don't think so. Except that we have a super awesome administrative assistant, Hannah, a real live human.
Yes.
That if you call us or email us, she will help connect you with a therapist, set you up with a consultation, answer any of your questions, and line you up with a therapist that kind of best meets your needs depending on what you're working with. So that kind of ties in with how we have lots to offer. She'll kind of help narrow that down for you.
Good call. Yeah. Absolutely. We can't forget Hannah.
Yeah.
So if it's okay with you in signing off, I was thinking I would do something that's familiar to people that know me. All right.
Go ahead.
So thank you so much for listening. And for now, take good care.
Yeah. Take care, everyone.